Okay, here we go. So, like I said, your book's open to page 610. I'll let you guys know what we're doing today, what some of the objectives are for today. You guys are going to be able to plot ordered pairs. You're going to be able to reflect figures and determine ordered pairs for the image of the figure. And then you're going to be able to use reflections to investigate symmetry. So it sounds a little confusing, but this is going to make a lot more sense once we get going. The first thing I want you guys to do, I'm going to pass out some, because you guys don't have graph paper, right? So I made some copies of some graph paper that's double-sided. What I want you guys to do is use the space on this graph paper really, really carefully, okay? Because we're going to be doing quite a few questions. It's got two sides, but like, don't put one in the middle and one over here. You know, put them, try and get them as close together as you can. And don't, if you're just doing, you know, where the numbers go up to, you can see here, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have a maximum of 8, right? So you can make, when you make your chart, don't make it to 20. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Tim, why are you so late?
Oh, I went to the nurse's room.
To the where?
Nurse's room.
All right, grab your book and have a seat.
What time?
It's math. Grab your book, have a seat now. Just take some and pass them back. You guys need an extra sheet. I think there's a few extra ones. So this is what we call bell work. And what I want you guys to do is just do this right now on your own. And then we're gonna have a little discussion on what's gonna happen here.
Draw a triangle.
Make a reflection using the y-axis. You have, this is the question. Okay, just, okay, pass that up. So this is just to judge where you guys are at, to see if you guys understand the material that we're doing. So the first thing you need to do is make yourself a plot, right? So go on your graph paper, make yourself an x and y axis, put in the triangle and then reflect it. And then once you're done doing that, we'll talk about it for a second. We'll have a little discussion. So it shouldn't take long. It should only take a couple of minutes. It's not a difficult question. Reflection. And I'll give you a hint about reflection. It's basically you're flipping it. You guys understand? You flip it. And I'll give you another hint. Once flipping it means that every point is the same distance from the central line. So where would the central line be if we're dealing with the y-axis? Right here, right? So every point is the same distance from the central line. Now, I'm going to come around and look really quickly, see what you're doing. So you didn't draw the original one, you just did the image, right? Draw the original too. I want the original and the image. Yep, that looks perfect. Okay, I can tell right now I'm seeing, it looks pretty good, yes? Okay, you don't, no. This is what I said. Don't make a huge XY axis. Do little ones. See how they're doing little ones? Because you need to save your paper, right? Don't do a massive one like that. Okay, I see, it seems like a lot of you understand this right pretty quickly. Yep. Let's see. Yeah.
Can you like zoom in and does it because it's hard to see?
Yeah. is pretty simple stuff, guys. I came around and I'm looking and I see some of you guys finished it really quickly. So just remember in your mind, when we're talking about reflection, we're flipping it, right? And you guys have seen the picture about a butterfly, right? If you take the butterfly and you put it right down the middle, you can see how it's flipped. One side flips to the other. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into some examples. We're going to do some work in the book. We're going to keep things going pretty similar to the way things usually go. So this is something new I want to try. So for that first question, I kind of want you guys to put your heads down a little bit, and I want you to raise your hands. If you understand that question, like it was easy. I understand everything perfectly. I want you to put up a 4.
What
and
page?
Sorry?
What question?
The question that we just did, this question. So if you understand how to do it perfectly, I want you to put up 4 fingers, and if you don't understand, you put up 1, okay? So kind of put your heads down, and let's see your hands raised right now. I want to see where you're at. Okay. Betty, I need to see hands and fingers. 4 means you understand, 1 means you don't. Let's see. Okay, so most of you, okay, that's good. Heads back up. You guys got it pretty well. We'll do a bit of an explanation here. Let's take a look at page 610, and you're going to see some examples of how they're doing the reflection. If you look at page 611, you can see how they did it right there. There's a step-by-step example. Do you guys see on page 611? Yes? So when you take, the thing that you have to remember is when you're flipping, you're taking every point the same distance from the center line. So Tim, when you're doing a reflection, you find out what point this is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Point C is a -4, right? So you go over here to a +4, right? And then you're going to get another, you find out where this one is, and you put it here. And then you find out where this point is up here, and you put it here. It's, whatever it is away from here, it's going to be the same over on this side. Do you guys understand? Yes? And that's what a reflection is. And you think in your mind, you take this triangle and you flip it over here on this side. Just remember, you're flipping it. Any questions on what a reflection is? Okay, we're gonna do some questions now that you're gonna do by yourselves. And you guys have graph paper with you. So when you're doing your questions, I want you to show your work. If it says to graph it, you have room to graph it, okay? And you're going to do it on the paper. So we're going to get your books open on page 612. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And then on page 613, we're going to do 11 and 17. And then on page 614, we're going to do 27, 28, 29, 31, and 35. Now, if you finish all of that work and you're still waiting, 25 will be a bonus question. And if you get that bonus question correct, I'll give you 2 dojo points. So finish everything, and then if you have time still, work on the bonus question. Yeah.
Until
1 second. It's, yes.
Draw the graphing in here.
Yeah, everything on the graph paper. But make sure, because we're going to be handing that paper over to your partner to mark. So make sure you have the number and the answers, okay? Make it legible and you know, easy to understand. Maybe when you're done, you can outline each question, like draw around it so you know which question is in what unit or quadrant. So sorry, it was 1, 2, 3, 8, 11, 17. You got it already? Okay. I want you to do both, just to make things easier. For questions 1 where it says graph, you don't need to put the graph in the book, but I want the coordinates in there, okay? Well, so number 1, it says graph each figure and its reflection over the axis. Then find the coordinates of the reflected image. So for number 1, you need to have the reflected. It says find the coordinates of the reflected image. So you want the reflected image coordinates for number 1 and number 2. But the graph you can draw on your graph paper. Okay? Number 5, it says graph each figure and its reflection over the x-axis. Guys, don't get your axes mixed up. You know, this is y, this is x. Number 8, same thing, graph each figure and its reflection. Number 11. Number 11 is kind of cool, you just finish the design. So number 11, we'll have to look at the graph paper. Number 17, that's just in the book. So the graph paper is really there to kind of help you get your answers. So do the work. If you guys have any questions, raise your hand and I can come over and help. Let's go, Tim. You can't just sit there and you gotta work, okay? Tim, sit up. So any questions, let me know. That looks good. I like that. James made, can I just show that really quickly, how you're doing that? Kind of, look at how he's got his own little, like a graph there, a graph there, a graph there. It's kind of keeping a balanced pattern. So that way you can get the most of your graph paper, right? You're not wasting anything. It's like, make your question and then put the next one, start the next one right beside it, as best you can fit it. There's some students that are on question, or they're already on question 17 already. You haven't done one question. Let's go. said, if you got a question, raise your hand. And the bonus question, it's not impossible. You just gotta think about the way how paper folds and what makes sense. Is there something you're not understanding? What question again? Where's question number one? Where's the answer to number one? You have to write the answer on there as well. So just start on this side. Let's do question number one.